When everyone's born, they're dealt a hand. Some people are dealt great ones. They have both parents, a good support system of friends, and no financial struggles. But others aren't dealt as good of hands. They may have trauma from an abusive household, or maybe it's just one that struggles to get food on the table. But in both scenarios, I think the only feasible option that you have is to play the hand that you were dealt. This isn't Uno, you can't just swap hands to the right. You also can't reshuffle the deck, so play the hand. I guess it's human nature, but people always look for something external to blame it on. People love bringing up the friend with the rich parents and talking about how easy their life is. But if you're gonna look at that, you might as well look at the person that's in a 10 times worse situation than you. Life's not fair. And I feel like the sooner you realize that, the better off that you are. Understand that these situations aren't your fault. It's literally a luck of the draw, but you have to do something about it. And I think that's the first hurdle. You have to accept it and then move on. The second step is to figure out what you want and then start small. And this is where the soul searching part comes in. You need to assess your life situation and figure out what you really want. This is where the foundational habits come into play. The mindfulness, the reading, the journaling, reflecting, meditating. These things will help you find out more about yourself. After you better understand what you want, you'll soon realize that what you want for yourself is not what others want for you. This is where if there's toxic people in your life, you either need to remove them or at least block out their opinions. You can't let them hold you back. Once that's out the way, you have to start small. Start taking small steps towards your goal. If it's get in shape, go to the gym twice a week. That's it. If it's start a business, work on that business 5 hours a week. And I'm victim to this. Every time we want to make a change, we would do everything at once. And this leads to the change not sticking. And also, if you're the demographic that watches my stuff, you likely have more than enough time to figure it out. If you don't believe me, go watch a Gary Vee video.
If you're 36, you're a child.
And what if you're dealt a good hand? The advice stays the exact same. Figure out what you want and take small steps to get there. And the main difference is you might be more complacent. Maybe you've been comfortable your whole life, so that means you don't have the same drive that that person who went through struggle does. And that's the edge the bad hand has because they have the motivation and the reason to turn that ship around. So now you've accepted your hand, you figured out what you want, you started taking small steps, but now is the part that separates people. You have to play your hand relentlessly because everybody's unique. Everyone has different stories. You need to lean into what makes you, you. And many successful people have had bad hands. The first person that comes to mind is David Goggins. He had a really abusive father, a tough upbringing, and he was 300 pounds. He had to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months for Navy SEAL training. He then went on to become a Navy SEAL and turned his whole life around. He didn't let his hand define him. He could have easily been a nobody, but he became a somebody. So if you have a garbage hand, you have a chip on your shoulder that other people don't. If you have a good hand, don't waste it. Comfort kills. Either way, this is your responsibility now. You don't get to fold just because the odds aren't in your favor. Life's less about cards and more about how you play them. The only way to lose is if you stop playing.